Just sort of thinking about some of your comments there, Dr. Smaw, I wonder how you sort of balance that with, what we've seen, just thinking about here in Central Florida, but I think across the country as well. I mean, a lot of police chiefs and sheriffs have come out and said pretty emphatically, what happened to George Floyd was wrong. It was a crime. It should be prosecuted. The people who perpetrated it should be prosecuted. So how do you sort of balance those two things when you're talking about, what you're calling the extreme end of asymptomatic racism, which is, you were saying, is kind of baked into some police departments? Like, how do those two things kind of measure up for you?
That's right. It's not true that all police officers are racist. And it's most certainly not true that all police captains or all European Americans are racist. So, of course, there are many police officers who go to work every day, they do their jobs, and they try to do their jobs well. But on January 6th in 2015, the House of Representatives passed what's called H.R. 46. Mm-hmm. H.R. 46 tells us that in states like Texas, Kentucky, Alabama, Arkansas, and many other states, police officers were engaged in false arrest of African-American males. And then to ensure convictions, they would falsify evidence, fabricate evidence, intimidate witnesses, and so on. Those wrongful convictions have occurred all throughout this country. Now, most Americans will hear this and say, this is outrageous behavior. It most certainly can't be true. But when we look at exoneration statistics, we find that 60% of people who are exonerated for sexual assaults are African American, and 50% of people who are exonerated for murder are African American, and 55% of people who are exonerated for drug possession are African American. So we know that African Americans are being falsely arrested and wrongfully convicted at much higher rates than everyone else. But notice, no police officers go to jail for this. No prosecutors lose their job for this because of what I mentioned before, and that's qualified immunity. In fact, the movie Just Mercy gave us an excellent example of how this occurs.